Simplified explanation of each section of a research paper. Chapter 1. The problem and its setting. Introduction. This is the beginning part of the study, where the researcher explains what the research is about. It sets the scene and tells readers why the topic is important. Theoretical framework. Think of this as the foundation of the research. It includes ideas and theories that help explain the topic. It shows how different concepts are connected and why they matter for the study. Conceptual framework. This is like a map that outlines the main ideas and how they relate to each other. It helps to visualize the research and shows what the researcher is focusing on. Statement of the problem. Here, the researcher clearly states the specific problem they want to investigate. It explains what is confusing or not well understood that needs more exploration. Hypothesis. A hypothesis is an educated guess about what the researcher thinks will happen in the study. It's a prediction based on the information they have. Scope and limitations of the study. This part describes what the research will cover and what it won't. It helps to set boundaries so everyone understands what to expect from the study. Significance of the study. In this section, the researcher explains why their study is important. They discuss how it can help people solve problems or contribute to knowledge in a particular area. Definition of terms. This part defines key terms that are used in the study. It ensures that everyone understands the words and concepts that are important to the research. Chapter 2. Related literature and studies. Themes/topics. This section covers the main ideas and topics that relate to the research. It looks at what other researchers have said or studied about similar subjects. Synthesis of the reviewed literature and studies. After gathering information from other studies, this part combines those ideas. It helps show patterns, agreements, or disagreements among different researchers, and it highlights what is already known about the topic. Chapter 3. Methodology. Method of research. This explains how the research will be conducted. It outlines the approach or strategy the researcher will use, like surveys or experiments. Population, sample size, and sampling technique. Here, the researcher describes who will be included in the study, population, and how many people will actually participate, sample size. The sampling technique explains how the researcher will choose the participants. Description of respondents. If any, this part gives details about the participants involved in the research. It might include their age, background, or any other important information relevant to the study. Research instrument. This refers to the tools the researcher will use to gather information, such as questionnaires, surveys, or interviews. Data gathering procedure. This section explains step by step how the researcher will collect the information needed for the study. Statistical treatment of data. After collecting data, this part discusses how the researcher will analyze it. It describes the methods or calculations used to make sense of the information and draw conclusions. Explanation of why each section of a research paper is important. Chapter 1. The problem and its setting. Introduction. The introduction is important because it grabs the reader's attention and provides a clear idea of what the research is about. It helps everyone understand the topic and why it matters. Theoretical framework. This section is crucial because it provides the background knowledge and theories that support the research. It helps explain why the researcher is looking into this topic and connects their work to what others have already discovered. Conceptual framework. The conceptual framework is important because it organizes the main ideas of the research. It visually maps out the relationships between different concepts, making it easier for readers to follow along. Statement of the problem. This part is vital because it clearly identifies the issue or question that the researcher wants to explore. Without a well-defined problem, the research could lose focus and direction. Hypothesis. The hypothesis is important because it gives the researcher a specific prediction to test. It guides the study and helps determine if their guess about the outcomes is correct. Scope and limitations of the study. This section is essential because it sets the boundaries for the research. It helps readers understand what will be included in the study and what won't, which helps prevent misunderstandings. Significance of the study. This part is crucial because it explains why the research matters. It shows how the findings could help people solve problems or contribute to our understanding of a subject, making the research feel relevant and valuable. Definition of terms. Defining terms is important because it ensures that everyone understands the specific language used in the study. This clarity helps avoid confusion and ensures that readers and researchers are on the same page. Chapter 2. Related Literature and Studies. Themes/topics. This section is important because it provides context for the research. It shows what has already been studied and helps readers understand the background of the topic. Synthesis of the reviewed literature and studies. This is crucial because it combines information from different sources. By looking at what others have found, the researcher can see patterns or gaps in knowledge that their study could address. Chapter 3. Methodology. Method of research. This part is important because it outlines how the research will be conducted. It provides a clear plan, helping others understand the approach and ensuring the research is conducted systematically. Population, sample size, and sampling technique. This section is crucial because it explains who will be included in the study and how they will be selected. Knowing this helps assess the reliability of the findings and whether they can be applied to a larger group. Description of respondents. If any, this part is important because it gives details about the participants. Understanding who they are helps readers evaluate the relevance of the findings to different groups of people. Research instrument. This section is crucial because it specifies the tools used to gather information. Knowing what instruments are used helps readers assess the validity and reliability of the data collected. Data gathering procedure. This part is important because it explains the step-by-step process of how information will be collected. A clear procedure helps ensure that the research is consistent and that the findings are trustworthy. Statistical treatment of data. This section is crucial because it describes how the researcher will analyze the information they collected. Proper analysis helps draw accurate conclusions and ensures that the findings are based on solid evidence. By explaining why each section is important, we can see how they all contribute to creating a clear, trustworthy, and valuable piece of research that others can understand and use.